Okay, you guys, good afternoon. I'm going to record today's session on climate change. And so I'm going to jump right into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start here. So if you were somebody that wasn't present in class today, one of the things I want to talk about is how my folder looks. I no longer have weeks 1 through 9 out. I now have them in a folder called first quarter assignments, and then it says that this folder contains weeks 1 through 9 assignments. So if you are an individual that is still working on first quarter assignments, remember all first quarter assignments are due tomorrow night by 11:59 p.m. Our first quarter assignments are due tomorrow by 11:59 p.m. So click on week 10, November the 2nd through November the 6th, and click on Thursday's folder, which is going to take us to a Nearpod live lesson. I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'll add it to the other classes. I'm going to go ahead and add the Nearpod self-paced. That way, when you do this, you can go through and do this yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the folder. And so now it's there, and then I'll just use the student pace to go through the lesson. But the first thing I did today was I had them to look at a video. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to look at a video. Not what I wanted to do. So let me just open up another Schoology window. I thought I already had it, but I did not, but it's okay. And I apologize. I thought I had already taken care of this, but it doesn't look that way. All right, here is the video that we watched in class, and it takes about 5 minutes, so I'll let you guys watch. Okay, so the whole purpose of this particular or of that particular video was to kind of give you guys some background knowledge of what we were going to be talking about as it relates to climate change. So I'm just gonna kind of go through this again. This is a student's pace Nearpod, so you kind of click on this at your um leisure, or whatever's going to be best for you. So of course, put your name in, and then again, it has climate change. We've already watched the video. But here, we did take notes, and the question says, what is global warming? And global warming is a term that is used to describe the rising of the average temperature on Earth. It has to do with the overall climate on Earth rather than the weather on any given day. So when I was, or as I thought about this, I thought about again, as it relates to an average. Weather is what the meteorologists forecast to us daily. But if you take all the, it says rise, and if you take the highest temperature of every day for 365 days of the year and add it together and divide it by 365 days, then you will get let's say the average high temperature, let's just say for Mobile. Okay, so again, when we're talking about global warming, it is the average rise in temperature on not just, well, I gave you the example of Mobile, but we're talking about as it relates to the earth. Okay. It's not just weather on a day, is weather on earth every single day. Okay. It's not one given day, it is an overall climate, again average. Next, we talked about the history of global warming. And so the Earth has gone through changes in temperature before. The Earth has even gone through several ice ages when the temperature dropped significantly, and a lot of the world was covered in ice glaciers each time the planet eventually warmed up and the ice melted. So, what I did, I'm probably gonna stop here just so you guys can actually see it on your end because you're probably not able to see it. So I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna start back sharing. I'm seeing everything but what I am wanting to see. Let's cancel and then let me see if I can. Let's pick a window. Not what I want. No, it's not giving me what I want. Let me close out some. I am apologizing because this is not what I wanted. I'll just come back to that. Okay, so I guess it was the student. All right, let's hopefully it shows on you guys end. Hopefully it shows on you guys end. And what I want to show you guys with this is let's see, I want to just make sure that it is showing right now. Okay, so I had to cut on something else to make sure that you guys were actually seeing what I wanted you guys to see. Um, but in a sense, you're not seeing it. Let's see. Let's share this tab this time. Okay, here we go. Finally, what I want you guys to see. So what I like about this is an interactive climate time machine. And so it's showing you the different changes that has happened globally over time. So the first one that I'm gonna show you guys is basically the sea ice. And what I'm wanting you guys to look at and tell is see how the area of the Pyrenees ice has been steadily decreasing since the satellite began recording in 1979. So you see all this ice here. I'm now going to play it, and then you guys are going to see how the ice is going to decrease. So I'm going to play it. So it's like so when it first started in 1979, all this area here, and I can scroll back to it so you guys can see, but all this area here was full of ice. And so what I observed just through this visual is that the ice it will melt, and then it would freeze back up, and then it will melt again. But just lately a lot of it has really melted. The next is the sea level, and I'm sure I can click on North America, the Amazon Delta, the South East Asia, but the one I'm going to focus on is one that we can relate to. So this is New Orleans. New Orleans is about a 2-hour drive from us, and then you have Miami deep in Florida. Well, with this visualization, it shows the effect of coastal regions from each meter of sea level rises. So it's talking about how if the Greenland ice sheet contains enough water to raise the sea level. So let's see what would happen if that Greenland ice sheet contain enough water to raise it. And so that will be about 16 to 23 feet of water, which is a significant amount of water. But let's just see. So as you can tell, it said the land that will be covered in water is shaded in red. So the city of New Orleans will be underwater. And then the city of Miami will be underwater as well. Okay. So again, these are small things, but causing great changes in our planet. So next we have carbon dioxide. And so this just shows the areas that have a lot of carbon dioxide. So if it's a yellow to red region, it's going to have a lot of carbon dioxide. If it's a blue to green area, it does not have a lot of carbon dioxide. So let's just see how carbon dioxide has changed from 2002 to 2016. So although 2016 is about what 4 years ago and 2002 is about 18 years ago, you guys can definitely see how much carbon dioxide is concentrated on our earth. You can guys can definitely see there's a large amount of carbon dioxide on our planet again, which is Earth. Okay, so I'm going to again stop sharing just so I can get back to where I was. So I'm gonna close that out. I'm going to go back to presenting, but I'm going to go back to the Nearpod to present. So why is global warming important? You guys do not have to write this slide down in your notes. Even small variation of the planet's average temperature can have a large impact on the environment. For example, the ice ages that occurred generally involved a reduction in global temperature of about 5 degrees Celsius. And so again, that could be something that's small, but it could very well have a large impact. So it says the causes of temperature rising. I do want you guys to write that. You can just write down the part that I'm highlighting. Well, of course, write down the temperature. I'm sorry, the title, which is causes of temperature rising. Write down glaciers melting, just the part that you're seeing highlighted. Ocean levels rise, migration of animals, and the extreme weather. So glaciers melting is a reason for the temperatures rising. Many glaciers are already melting and shrinking throughout the world. If the temperature increases, they will continue to melt. Then you have the ocean levels will rise. As the glaciers melt, the ocean levels will rise. This could cause floods in cities located near the coast. And a good example again would be New Orleans and Miami. Migration of animals would migrate to cooler spots as their old habitats get too warm. This could upset the food chain and put some species in danger of extension. So with this here, I thought about going back to the video. They talked about the birds, but they also talked about I think it was the koala bears that live in Australia. This one does not have so much to do with the heat. But it just talks about how, you know, their species population could become extinct, and it could become extinct because they eat one specific type of plant, and if something happens with that plant, then the koala bears wouldn't have anything to eat, therefore causing their particular species to be in danger of extinction. Then we have the extreme weather. Um, some scientists think that warming will fuel more powerful hurricanes as well as more droughts and flooding in different areas of the world. Definitely, or I agree with those scientists who feel that way, because I feel like this year has definitely been one of those years where the hurricanes, and it's still hurricane season. A week ago, we did not know what to expect with Hurricane Zeta. And one of the reasons we did not know what to expect with Hurricane Zeta was because with the cooler temperatures, that means the waters are going to be cooler. But Zeta was moving so quickly till we were supposed to have a cold front, and we did get a cold front. It's just that Zeta beat the cold front, and because Zeta beat the cold front, Zeta was able to pick up more speed because of the temperature of the water. So again, as long as the water is warm, that gives a hurricane more strength. Okay, and so again, of course, that's going to cause more flooding. This is just an image of carbon dioxide. They're just showing the different types of rays that are hitting the earth's surface. I do want you to write down the title, what causes global warming. And then I want you guys to write down those 4 bullets there for me in your notebook. I am going to go ahead and talk about the whole entire slide, how global warming is a complex subject, which again, that was something that was mentioned in the video. Some scientists disagree as to what caused the rise in temperature that occurred at the end of the 20th century. So things that can have an impact of global warming, including natural temperatures fluctuating on the planet. So basically, the temperatures going up and down. And we see that a lot just in Mobile. There are days where we may come to school with a coat on, and by the end of the day, the temperature has warmed up drastically, and we're peeling off the layers of clothes we have on. Or on the flip side, we may not wear anything to school. And well, when I say anything, we may not wear anything on our arms. We may not wear a jacket or a sweater. And then there are times that we have a cool front to come through during school hours. And by the time we get out of school, the temperature is frigid or it's really windy outside. So that's what they mean by fluctuating temperatures. It may be hot at the beginning of the week, and then it could be cold by the end of the week. So again, fluctuating temperatures. Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide has something to do with the gas being trapped in the earth. And so with that gas being trapped, it again heats up the earth. Volcanic eruptions, they talked about that a little in the video. When it explodes or when an eruption occurs, it does change the weather or the climate for a short period of time, and then it talked about how the ash goes back into the atmosphere, which is blocking those sun rays, and with that sun not being able to um have direct light on the earth, it causes the earth at times to become cooler. And then it says increased solar activity. On the following pages, we're just going to talk about those things. So how it talks about natural fluctuations, the average temperature on Earth has changed throughout history. Anything can change. There are a large number of variables, but just even the slightest thing can cause the temperature to fluctuate. Okay. Then we have the sun's activity. Since all of the energy and heat on Earth comes from the sun, it follows that the sun's activity will have some effect on the temperature on the Earth. The activity of the sun is usually different over time, which can change how much energy actually hits the sun. So when I think about this, I think about how the earth is rotating on its axis, and how, with it rotating on its axis, it is still revolving around the sun. And so right now, one of the things that you guys should be noticing is, one, it is a little cooler. That's one. Two, it's getting darker earlier. So right now we're turning away from the sun, and because we're turning away from the sun, we're not getting as much direct light from the sun. These were the gases that we were talking about. The reason the earth isn't a ball of frozen ice is because of the greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases act like insulation to keep the earth warm. However, as more and more greenhouse gases get into the atmosphere, the earth will start to grow warmer. The main greenhouse gases that keep the earth warm are water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane. In the past 100 years, humans have been the cause of significant increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, especially carbon dioxide. And so now it's going to give us some examples. So every time we drive our cars or use electricity, basically more carbon dioxide is put into the air. In addition to, you also have factories that are burning coal and stuff, that also puts carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Volcanoes. So we talked about this a little bit. So when the volcano erupts, it can change the temperature of the entire earth for a short period of time. And again, it says it's because the eruptions send large amounts of ash and particles into the atmosphere, and this blocks the sun rays from hitting the earth and can cause the earth to cool. At the same time, volcanic eruptions emit large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere as well. So, what can we do about climate change? There's really nothing that we can do about the fluctuation of the temperatures or the volcanic eruption or the sun activity, but we can have some type of impact on the carbon dioxide or the greenhouse gases that are emitted into the air. It talks about many of our everyday activities causes more carbon dioxide to be released into the atmosphere, including driving cars and using electricity. You can help by trying to cut down the amount of electricity you use, as well as how much driving you or your parents do. This is like carpooling to an event, and planting trees can help. Lastly, we have the carbon print, which is one way to measure how much carbon dioxide you contribute to the atmosphere. And so it's calculated by your carbon foot. And so to sum it up, they're just talking about when we produce carbon dioxide, it also is air pollution. And it just talks about how we can do some other things to lower our carbon footprint. So that is the end of the PowerPoint, or sorry, not PowerPoint, the Nearpod for today. I'm going to go back into Thursday's folder, and in Thursday's folder, you guys have your first homework grade, which in this case is the ed puzzle. And so I kind of just give you the directions. We didn't have time to do the scavenger hunt today, but we will start on the scavenger hunt tomorrow. So just wanted to give you guys a recording of today's lesson. Have a good day and talk to you guys soon. Bye.